Hey Game Boarders, I'm Steve Nash.
And I'm Michaela DiCesare, and here's our review of Arkham Horror.
This sci-fi horror game is set in 1926 and is based on H.P. Lovecraft stories. You can choose from 16 investigators who take to the street of Arkham. Why are you doing that? I swear I'm going to strangle you with my microphone cord.
Before the game starts, one of the 8 Ancient Ones is chosen, and it's up to the players to prevent it from breaking into our world. During the course of the game, players will upgrade their characters by acquiring skills, allies, items, weapons, and spells.
I really don't think this game needed spells. In my opinion, it would have been cooler just to have regular human versus regular monster, without any spells. I just find the spells make the game a little cheesy.
I agree. Anyways, it's up to the players to cooperatively clean out the streets of Arkham by fighting many different types of monsters, but their main goal is to close portals to other dimensions that are opening up around town.
Yeah, because if too many portals open up, the Ancient One awakens, and the players only have one last chance to save the world by defeating the Ancient One in hand-to-hand combat.
The first thing I noticed when I opened the box is that the dices that come with the game are lame. For the amount I pay, they could at least put some nice dark-looking dice.
The amount of cards that you need to play this game is borderline ridiculous. I mean, some people need to build some kind of card dispenser for all these cards. So please note that you will need a big table if you're playing with more than 4 players. However, the character cards are really cool. They look like old PI files with coffee stains on them. And the really cool part is that if you turn the card over, you get a background story of the character.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good idea too, and most games should do it.
Okay, so the board game is separated into 2 sections, the real world and the other world. Too close to the gates, your investigator must pick up clues and enter the gates. Once the investigator leaves the gates, he can then close it.
There's also a section reserved to the outskirts of the town, where monsters also lurk, and the sky section where monsters that fly linger until one of the investigators stop on a street. If you stop on a street and are not inside any of the locations, then the flying monsters might see you and swoop down to attack.
The town is also divided into districts marked by colors, and each color has its own set of cards. This is why there are so many cards.
Another thing I found strange was that you have to supply some kind of bowl or bag or whatever to put all the monster cards in to pick them out randomly.
You'll probably need extra dice too, because sometimes your character becomes strong enough to roll over 13 dice and the game only comes with 5.
Okay, so let's talk about character sheets. Like we said, they're very nice and they have a story in the back. Also, they have a nice slider system that changes the attributes of your character as the game progresses. You can decide to run faster, but this reduces your sneak, for example. I thought that was a great idea and made the game more dynamic.
You also have a maximum insanity and maximum stamina. When you encounter a monster, you have to do an insanity check to make sure your character is not horrified by its presence. If you lose too much insanity points, you end up in the asylum and lose half your items. And if you lose too much stamina, you end up in the hospital. So you technically never die during the game, until you fight the Ancient One. He, however, devours you if you lose against him.
Also, get ready to do some math, because you need to add and subtract often while doing checks in battle.
Another good thing about this game is that the local stores where you get to buy items and stuff you need to win start to close down as the horror moves in. For example, if there are too many monsters on the board and the horror counter increases, stores start to barricade their doors and you lose your chance of ever buying anything from them.
Yeah, you get a real sense of pressure as the game builds up and the Ancient One wakes up and all the investigators fight in a royal rumble. The end battle is exciting and fun. So what do you give Arkham Horror?
I give it a 7 on 10. I just like the 1920s setting and the fun Ancient One battles. I dislike the spells.
I give it a 7.5. I like the character cards, but there are way too many cards. And I had to dirty one of my Tupperwares to play the game.
So there you have it, folks. To get our latest reviews, check us out on Twitter or follow us on our Facebook page at Bored to Death TV.
Yeah, and you can also send us emails to let us know what games you want to see reviewed on the show.
Thanks again for watching, and happy gaming.